Okay, welcome, guys. It is Wednesday evening, August the 6th. This is in preparation for Thursday, August 7th trading. Um, we can either learn secrets of oscillator settings and how to change the default settings and get all these custom things, or we can just learn how to manage our risk. I thought that was good when I remember one. I think one of you guys actually shared that at one point. But anyway, okay. So we're finishing up the interview here with Roy Longstreet by Intermarket Magazine. We're going to finish that interview today, and then the next day we will start into his book. All right. So, can you corner a market? Ask I am. Longstreet says, "Oh yes, I did corner a market. I cornered the meal market. I think it was in '62. I didn't corner the meal market to corner it. That was not my intention. I cornered it primarily to take advantage of the long-term capital gains. I found myself in a position of cornering the market. I never knew I had done it. Did you pyramid? Yes. I've been brokeraging because I have been in brokerage because of it. Actually, I was rendering a service for a fee at that time. I benefited from my relationship with the nameless parties in such a way that they were making money out of me on paper transactions. You don't put meal away in storage because you have to pay for it if you do. So they made a lot of money on my recommendations. But when it was all over, they wouldn't take their damn meal back. They said, honestly, we're making money on it. They were holding the paper of my position. It wasn't costing them anything. So I said, look, either you straighten this out and take the meal back, or they said, what does that or mean? You can't be a broker. Out of sheer ego, I found that I could be, and that put me in the brokerage business. More than $10 million? IM asks. Longstreet says, not quite that much. That was the year that I lost the million in one day and then made back 4 million in the following quarter. I was very comfortable with my trading at the time. So later that year, I was not focused minute by minute on the meal trade, so long as I knew it was working for me. So you just bought a lot of meal and you held. And by January, IM says, by January, I just carried it over until January. Did you have any problems liquidating? Asked IM. Yes. Yes, I could not sell my long cash unless I wanted to discount them $2. IM says, how? Did you sell all that you had hoped? Longstreet says, I know that the market was quoted at this price. I tried to sell it at this price, but the only way I could do it was to discount it $2 below. IM says, so did you sell it on the cash market or the futures market? Longstreet said, well, I was selling cash at the time because I hadn't received delivery on the cash. IM says, how much did you have? Well, how much did you have? More than the equivalent of 200 future contracts? Longstreet says, oh, yes. I don't know how many contracts I had, but it was a large, substantial amount. IM says, was it probably more than 500 future contracts? Longstreet said, it could be. I never cornered any market on purpose. I don't believe in it. I think it is an error to think you can corner a market and make money on it. IM asks, why? It violates my concept of moderation, says Longstreet. Markets go up on the basis of supply and demand. That's what Hunt found when he cornered the silver market. As I know the man, he will never trade again. He's through trading, and I don't want to be through. IM says, how do markets act when they are being manipulated or cornered? Longstreet said, look at the way silver acted. He tried to corner the silver market. He did it. I'm sorry. He did it by having a huge position in silver futures market and then taking delivery, and at the same time buying silver mines. IM said, so you don't have any specific approach to pyramiding. You handle it differently each time. Right, said Longstreet. IM said, so when you pyramid on the long side, you put on a position and then buy every weakness? Question mark. Longstreet said, well, some of the time I pyramid on weakness, but most of the time I add to it on strength. So I thought that was interesting, and I highlighted that, adding to his positions on strength if he's pyramiding into it. IM says, when you buy strength on a pyramid, you oftentimes see a position where the market has a setback and you could have bought on lower on pyramiding if you could have waited. Longstreet says, no, if I just have the feeling I should have, I don't want to even do it. I'm sorry. If I just have the feeling I should have, I don't want to even do it. answering, you could have waited. Okay. I am says, do you remember much about the potato market wars? Longstreet says, oh, yes. I was big in potatoes, but the potato market discouraged me, primarily because I was at the mercy of the Idaho fellow until the government came in and enforced the rules. And when I woke up and realized that you can break the rules and get away with it, I wanted nothing to do with that market. I have not traded in the potato market since then. IM says, so it seems to me that the period from 1959 to 1962 was a very successful time for you. Before that, were you successful? Yes, said Longstreet. Did you succeed? Did that success go to your head? Did you have a lot of careless trades that you wouldn't ordinarily have done had you not had that success? Longstreet says, oh, yes. IM says, so success was for you as much of a learning process as was the failure. He said, oh, much more. And I couldn't have withstood failure without the prior successes. IM said, you told me that in the 30s, there were many times where you had to go back and ask for more money, and you're not doing that today. What is the difference? Is it that you're not trading as much and so you're not forcing it? Are you not taking bad trades? Longstreet says, a large percent of my trades are profitable. I can't tell you why. I attribute that to the feeling of I can. There was a period in my life when I believed that I couldn't, but now I believe I can. IM says, could you still make money during that period? No. I think there are some times when I feel like I have lost in a particular trade, but it is not devastating. As long as I've learned something from it, no trade can be devastating to you. So I think that's a key, that no trade, no matter how much you win or lose, can be devastating if you learn from it. Do you take losses quickly? Asks IM. It is something that I've learned to do that I think is invaluable. You see, I never try to let a trade get to me to the point that I am anxious about it. I am not a master of my anxiety. So once I feel myself coming to that point, that alone is reason enough to get out of the trade. Once I begin to worry about it, I might better be out of it. There is no way to recoup my losses by keeping this trade, since there's no way I can. A good trader does not let fear or anxiety dominate him. He must demonstrate that he can by doing something about it and not worrying. Most of the people who have traded commodities are walking dead men. They remember and fixate on the fear they experienced when they were wrong. Unless they can shake that, they will never trade well again. The experience has been so painful that they will remember it for the rest of their lives. IM says, why do you steadfastly say that you're not successful in a conventional sense? Longstreet said, in a conventional sense, who doesn't think about money as the only standard? All right, so okay. So kind of the summary here. Beautiful three things that this author gets from this was quote, I don't know, quote, I was wrong, quote, I didn't know what I didn't know, but the humility itself can defeat me. Instead, intensify concentration, let it clarify a new move, protect that concentration. It was an amazing interview, plus a unique scope. Look at Bob. Okay. All right. So next time we will start into Roy Longstreet's book. Let's jump back into the markets here for tomorrow, for Thursday. Okay, on the daily, we were at 1290. It looks like right now we're at 1287 on this slow line, LBR slow line. Again, just as a reminder, we've been watching the slow line stay above here. The prior low was 1740. We're now down to 1286. So that's going to flip down there at some point, and kind of open it up for a potential little more shorting opportunities. We just don't know when. Okay. So I have on here the Fibonacci retracement from shoot. Well, that just moved. Hang on. Sorry. Grabbed the wrong thing and moved it here. Okay. My Fibonacci retracement's on here from this high to this low. We're above that 61.8. We kind of hit resistance. Now we're currently in the overnight session. We're trading above that. I have the 76.4 up here at 64.14 zone. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. As well as the 63.81 zone. So this I do have this here. Let me make that a uh, solid line here. This 2-period rate of change, we're currently flipped up in this 2-period rate of change. I would anticipate a flip down in that 2-period rate of change, kind of if we get down below 50% of today's price action. So if we get down there, that could flip down, could open it up for some further downside if it were to do that tomorrow. All right, let me pull over the 65,000 tick chart here. Um, doo, doo, doo. Okay, so we must pay attention to the fact that here in the Asia session that we're thrusting up above these prior highs. So this is a pretty good thrust here in the Asia session so far. So we've got to pay attention to that and not ignore that. I just kind of did an equal move on this leg up, and this leg up would take us up to the 64.50 zone. Take us up to the 64.50 zone if we were to do two equal swings. So we have the 64.15 on this, which was 74.6 on this daily. And then we have the 64.50s, and I'll give you a little summary of this in just a second, as potential. So I don't want to rule this out because we have been in a bull market. So definitely don't want to rule that out as a potential there. My initial knee-jerk thoughts is I think we could possibly have some up in the morning time and then look for potential sell-off into the afternoon, is what I'm kind of theorizing here. 60 minute on the 60-minute chart, we've got okay. So I see I have these horizontal lines here at 63.95 and 63.21. You can see why I have that. You got a lot of price overlap here. Jostled around, kind of went above, but then we had a little, quite a bit of price overlap here. So 63.95 zone, which we're approaching that. We've made highs so far in the Globex session here. That high of 63.91. And again, that's up at 95. And then if we go up to the 21s. So that's some areas I have there on the 60-minute. Let's look at the 120-minute chart. On the 120-minute. So I have the 6,400. So the 6,400, you can see this is was acting as a support area in the past before we broke down through it. Will that act as resistance? So there's another area at 6,400. So I kind of wrote these down here. If you want to take a screenshot of this, just kind of keep this in mind for tomorrow. So I have that 63.95 as a potential, the 6,400, the 64.15, the 64.21, and 64.50. So those are areas that I'm going to keep these numbers in front of me tomorrow as we approach these zones. Are we meeting a little bit of resistance? Are we looking at some possible divergences in that area? Are there any shorting opportunities? And or if we haven't reached those areas and we're still showing bullish tendencies, to play for moves up towards those zones. So it can go both ways. So you can make money swinging both ways. Isn't that right, Dustin? Okay. Anyway, nobody even listens to this stuff anyway. Yeah, you're right. All right. So on the internals, I have the VIX. Let's go back to the internals here. All right, get that out of the way. Dear subscribers. All right. So on the VIX here, we're kind of coming back down here to the 20-period moving average, but yet the slow line of the LBR is moving up. Like I said, I'll repeat this again. I never, ever, ever heard anybody, Linda or Mark or anybody, talk about monitoring the VIX as you would a 5-minute chart or 2-minute chart, but we kind of did a spike up above it. Now we're coming back. This would be like a buy, like a buy ante. If this was the stock market, you'd buy this. Well, a move up in the VIX would be a down move in the prices. So, we'll see. Do we get that bounce around this 20-period moving average, start moving back up for a move down in the markets, or do we just have it continue to slip on down further? So I thought that was interesting there. Also, I'm going to show you on the gap chart. So this was yesterday, this is today. So yesterday we had this kind of bullish notion here, and that did play out today. You can see that today we kind of got this little bearish notion. Will that play out tomorrow? Currently, prices right now are trading at 52.30 zone. Whoa, sorry. Nope, sorry. That's a picture I had behind there. Not 52.30. Uh, Hang on. Price 63.86. So we're currently here at the top of this Keltner channel is where prices are currently trading right now. So it'll be interesting to see what this picture paints in the morning when we open up. What picture will that paint? Will we gap up? Will we be way up here, close to one of these one of these 95, 6400, 6415, 2150 zones. So we'll just monitor that tomorrow. All right, guys, that's all I have for tonight. Trade safe, trade smart. Let's remember what the picture talked about here for myself. I'm preaching to myself. Learn how to manage risk. It doesn't matter. The setups don't matter. Learn how to manage risk. That's the only way we're going to ultimately be successful in this business. So, all right, guys, happy trading tomorrow. Trade safe. We will see you in the chat room.